Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. Over there is Diamond Dave Damone. This is the Appleton Oak. That's the answer. I'm Mason Quinn. Folks, today we are checking out the highly requested Sense and Sensibility. This one is from 1995. And look, we have really enjoyed the Jane Austen movies that we've done here on the channel. So the bar for this one is like sky high for me, folks. I'm expecting perfection out of this. Let's see if it delivers.
I have never seen this movie, so I'm definitely ready, willing, and able to give it a watch because, you know, so far she's 2 for 2 that we've watched.
I have also not seen this film, and the most I know about it is from what is on our backdrop here. So, as Mason Quinn said, this one came highly, highly requested, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, first time watch for me. We're finally here. I know a lot of Pride and Prejudice comments. We're saying we got to see this one. We're finally here. It's finally going to happen. Let's see where this goes. Let's go!
Oh.
This guy.
He passed. May he rest easy.
The estate of Norland was left to me in such a way as prevents me from dividing it between my two families. Norland in its entirety is therefore yours, and I am happy for you and Fanny. But your stepmother, my wife and daughters, are left only £500 a year, barely enough to live on. You must help them.
Of course.
You must promise to do this.
Is he not gonna?
Dearest, I mean to give them £3,000.
There's no knowing what they expect. The question is, what can you afford?
£20 a year to their mother while she lives. Would that be more advisable?
But if she should live longer than 15 years, it'd be completely taken in. People always live forever when there is an annuity to be paid them.
Oh my God, she's
It's
terrible.
going down.
£20 now and then will amply discharge my promise. You're quite right.
Look at that bow
he's
tie.
just working his way down.
That is an awful bow tie. Sorry, folks.
There she is.
There's Kate.
Can you play something else? Mama has been weeping since breakfast.
Reduced to the condition of visitor in my own home.
Consider, Mama, we have nowhere to go.
John and Fanny will be descending from London at any moment. Do you expect me to be here to welcome them? Vultures.
I can think of when I see Emma now as Love Actually, too.
If you come inside, we could play with your atlas.
That treehouse.
It's not my atlas anymore. It's their atlas.
Oh boy.
Do sit down. We shall be able to retain only Thomas and Betsy. We are very sorry to have to leave you all, but we are certain that you will find the new Mrs. Dashwood a fair and generous mistress.
My only real concern is how long it will take them to move out.
Oh, Jesus.
God.
Get him out of here. What a jerk.
You have 2 brothers, have you not?
Indeed, yes. Edward is the elder, and Mamma quite depends upon him. He's travelling up from Plymouth shortly and will break his journey here.
Careful.
What is he cutting into there? Is that a ham?
My dear John,
No, it's a fish.
this is your home now.
Fanny wishes to know where the key to the silver cabinet is kept. One can only presume she wants to count it.
Mm-hmm. Before you
What
guys
are you
leave.
doing?
Presents for the servants.
It's kind of her making stuff by hand for the servants
Yeah.
to give.
Well,
Little parting gift.
well, they're probably sad that they have to give up how many of them that they're jobless.
I wonder if Miss Margaret will be prepared to give up her room for him.
Nothing but the best.
Do we kick out who's ever in there?
Is the brother going to be Rickman?
No,
Hugh!
it's you.
Oh.
Miss Dashwood, Miss Marianne. My brother, Edward Ferrars.
That's her brother.
Oh, man.
Oh.
But where is Miss Margaret?
My youngest is not to be found this morning. She's a little shy of strangers at present.
I'm shy of strangers myself, and I have nothing like her excuse.
How do you like your view, Mr. Ferrars?
Your stables are very handsome and beautifully kept, Mrs. Dashwood.
Edward, your windows overlook the lake.
An oversight, Fanny, had led me to one of the family rooms, but I've rectified the situation and am very happily installed in the guest quarters.
So he's the
Yeah.
opposite. He's very kind and polite.
Yep.
These are mostly foreign.
Wow.
I like the smell of books.
You got it.
I hear you have great plans for
Nice.
Walnut Grove.
Oh, yes.
Too expensive. We do not need 4 bedrooms. We can share.
I think I may have found what you were looking for.
Won't you come out, dearest?
Do you, by any chance, have such a thing as a reliable atlas? I wish to check the position of the Nile. My sister tells me it is in South America.
The source of the Nile is in Abyssinia.
How do you do? Edward Ferrars.
Margaret Dashwood.
Nice. Getting a relationship started, established.
Forgive me. Thank you so much for your help with Margaret, Mr. Ferris. She's quite changed since you came.
Would you do me the honor, Miss Dashwood?
Margaret has always wanted to travel.
She's heading an expedition to China shortly. I am to go as her servant. But only on the understanding that I will be very badly treated.
Jeez. Oh, is she slightly approving?
Maybe she'll fall off the railing.
No, not Fanny, the mom.
Well, yeah, we know, but
My mother is determined to see me distinguished.
As?
Anything. I've always preferred the church. She prefers the army. But that is a great deal too smart for me.
By the way, see how he has his tide versus the other gentleman?
No voice divine, the storm allayed. No light propitious shone.
No, Edward, listen. No voice divine, the storm allayed, no light propitious.
woke up Margaret.
Can you not feel his despair?
No voice divine, the storm allayed. No
You're
light
allayed.
propitious shone. Snatched from all effectual aid.
He's trying.
I should be pleased to offer you a home at Barton Cottage as soon as ever you have need. Oh, it's from my cousin, Sir John Middleton. Let us delay. I believe that Edward and Eleanor have formed an attachment. It would be cruel to take her away so soon.
It would be cruel. Let's not do that.
It's always going to be there.
Edward is very amiable, but there is something wanting. Can the soul really be satisfied with such polite affections?
There is no understanding.
Do you love him?
Just met him.
I do not attempt to deny that I think very highly of him.
It's a fine gentleman.
Very fine.
Is love a fancy or a feeling? Or a Ferrars? I do not attempt to deny that I think very highly of him. That I greatly esteem him.
Oh, when you say it like that.
That I like him.
Well, like
Sometimes love grows.
Yeah, like blossoms into
Yeah.
love.
That's usually the best kind.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Fanny.
Yeah, Fanny.
She's not a fan of it.
Nice black stripe outfit.
That's how you know she's evil.
Crypt keeper.
We're so happy that you chose to invite Edward to Norland. We're all very fond of him.
She's determined that both he and Robert will marry well.
But I hope she desires them to marry for love.
Unfortunately, we cannot always rely on the heart to lead us in the most suitable direction.
What?
Edward is entirely the kind of compassionate person upon whom penniless women can prey. I worry for him so, Mrs. Dashwood. My mother has always made it perfectly plain that she will withdraw all financial support from Edward should he choose to plant his affections in less exalted ground than he deserves.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a lot of insults.
My cousin, Sir John Middleton, has offered us a small house on his estate.
How charming. A little cottage is always very snug.
You will not leave before the summer.
My dear Edward, we can no longer trespass upon your sister's goodwill. We must leave as soon as possible.
You will come and stay with us, Edward.
I should like that very much.
Edward has long been expected in town by our mother.
Piss
Come as
off.
soon as you can, Edward. Remember, you're always welcome.
Always.
Always.
Cannot you take him with you?
We cannot possibly afford him.
Perhaps he could make himself useful in the kitchen.
It's a bad joke.
Miss Dashwood, Eleanor, I must speak to you.
Go on.
We are
Listening.
About my education. It was conducted, oddly enough, in Plymouth. I was 4 years there, in a school run by Mr. Pratt. He has a.
You're needed in London this instant.
I'm leaving this afternoon as it is.
No, that will not do. Mamma is quite adamant you should leave at once.
Mama.
Leave at once.
That's smugness. Piss off, Fanny.
There was a lot of accidents back then. A lot of accidents happened.
Just saying.
Ugh.
Think you're gonna have a new favorite person to hate Oak?
She's working her way right up next to Umbridge and Notebook Mom and Titanic Mom.
Edward promised to bring the atlas to Barton for me.
Well, I'll wager he will do so in less than a fortnight.
I swear we know that little actress.
Well, if that's the place, not too bad.
Glad to see just like them.
Look at all those dogs! I bet she's going to be a riot.
But here's my dear mama-in-law, Mrs. Jenny. Now get down, dogs. Get down.
John, let us only settle
That was
in
not
for
a
2 days.
small
Thank you so
house.
very much.
Yeah, but it was small compared to what they had.
Send your man up to us for the carriage as soon as you're ready. And goodbye.
Her supporting characters are always so good in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank
So
you.
There goes all the dogs.
like 7 of them?
2, 4, at least 6.
I thought there was 6, yeah.
Looking for clams.
That was her.
What have you been
That was
doing?
her sword.
Your neck is so dirty you could grow potatoes on it.
It's pretty good. Never heard that one before.
What can Brandon be?
Bound to do for one of you. Mind it, I think he's a better age for Miss Dashwood. She's left her heart behind in Sussex.
You sniffed one out already, Mother. You're worse than my best point of flossing.
None of us have any secrets here.
Or if we do, we do not keep them long.
Give us a clue, Miss Dashwood. Is he in uniform?
He has no profession.
Oh.
Margaret, you know perfectly well there is no such person. Might I play your pianoforte?
Yes, we do not stand upon ceremony here, my dear.
Sir John, please forgive
No,
me.
my son.
Entertainment, I declare.
I declare.
This has to be Rickman.
That's right.
Snape.
God, how old would he have been in 94?
95.
95.
Probably still 30s.
No, he filmed in 94, so.
He's smitten.
Yes, he is.
We served in the East Indies together. I assure you there's not a better fellow in the world. Now, Miss Dashwood, it's your turn to entertain us.
Oh, no.
And I believe I know what key you will sing in. F major.
Those two are just troublemakers. That's all they are.
You have no right at all to parade your ignorant assumptions. In fact,
Assumptions. You told me.
you do not speak of such things before strangers.
But everyone else was.
You cannot think of anything appropriate to say. You will please restrict your remarks to the weather.
Anne Dashwood would no more think of me than she would of you, John.
Do not think of yourself so meanly.
All the better for her.
Stop being modest.
Come on.
A bit of an age gap here between those two, isn't
That's
there?
the vibe I got, but I've been wrong plenty of times.
Different times,
Well,
different.
Who knows? I mean, everybody here looks way older than what they are because of the way they're dressed, so who knows?
How long have you known the Colonel?
As long as ever I've been here, and I came 15 years back. He had a tragic history. He loved a girl once. 20 years ago now. A ward to his family, but they were not permitted to marry. She was flung out of the house. He was packed off into the army.
Oh.
She was passed from man to man. He searched heaven knows how long, only to find her dying in a poorhouse.
Oh.
Damn.
I think I shall try a little experiment on him. Colonel Brandon, we have not heard you play for us of late. He plays the pianoforte very well. You must play as a duet. Let us see you both side by side.
That is quite a nudge.
That's a hard pass right there.
The movie's great. It's Rose from Titanic and Hans from Die Hard. I can't get past it.
They're called actors.
Thanks, answer.
Oh, what's in the parcel?
Is that the Atlas?
Open it. It is too ridiculous.
There it is.
Oh, nice.
This thing is huge.
Oh, wow. I think that might be a totally different one.
Edward said he would bring it himself.
It gives me great pleasure to restore this atlas to its rightful owner. Alas, business in London does not permit me to accompany it. For the present, my memories of your kindness must be enough to sustain me, and I remain your devoted servant, always, E.C. Ferrars.
Oh, what a line.
You must miss him, Eleanor.
We are not engaged, Mama. I think we should be foolish to assume that there would not be many obstacles to his marrying a woman of no rank.
Eleanor, your heart must tell you.
In such a situation, Mama, it is perhaps better to use one's head.
The old head versus the heart argument.
Eleanor is very, very pragmatic about everything. Very thoughtful. She's not overly whimsical.
Oh, careful! I was gonna say.
I do not think I can walk. You must run and fetch help.
Oh, I think we know who's going to come and help.
Oh, look at right there.
Mom, wait!
Oh, okay. I was.
Yeah,
the direction we're going to go there.
He's quite safe.
Oh.
Who's this guy now?
Are you hurt?
Oh! Where's this guy been tanning?
This is very
Oh, jeez.
She fell down and he's carrying her.
Yeah, some guy with some weird sideburns.
Yeah.
Sir, I cannot even begin to thank you.
Please do not think of it. But permit me to call tomorrow afternoon and inquire after the patient.
We shall look forward to it.
We shall.
Most kind.
Emma knows.
We getting a name?
Could you tell it to me? We are so much obliged.
John Willoughby of Allenham at your service, Mark.
John. Willoughby.
He expressed himself well, did he not?
With great decorum and honour.
What are his tastes, his passions, his pursuits?
He has the smartest little bitch of a pointer. Was she?
His dogs. That's
Nice
all he
little
knows.
estate 3 miles east. He's to inherit it from an elderly relative. Lady Allen's the name.
Dogs are barking.
Somebody else. There he is. He's only 4 miles
Oh, he's
away.
got flowers. His heart's gonna get destroyed.
Why, you should set your cap at Willoughby when you've already made such a splendid conquest. Come, Brandon, we know when we are not wanted. Let us leave him to the ladies.
Thank you so much for calling.
Bricks, Brandon. Oh, brutal. Oh, feeling bad for Hans here, guys.
What a pleasure to see you again.
Pleasure is all mine, I can assure you. And since you cannot venture out to nature, nature must be brought to you.
Beautiful.
It's not the reaction. Ugh.
Ah, I see mine is not the first offering. I obtained those from an obliging field.
I've always preferred wildflowers.
I suspected as much.
Fuck out of here.
This guy is smooth.
Oh, who is reading Shakespeare's sonnets?
Here.
Which are your favourites?
Without a doubt, mine is 116.
Let me not to the marriage of true minds.
Oh,
knows
Jim,
it
come
by
on.
It
It is an ever-fixed mark.
that looks on storm.
Tempest. Oh,
Is it
I
tempest?
do believe it is tempests.
Let me find it.
She's wrong.
It's strange you should be reading these, but look, I carry them with me always.
Hey, there was no TV. All he could do was read.
Come on with this guy.
That's all he could do is read. I got to start hanging out at Hills.
Until
Kate
tomorrow.
Winslet falls down.
Oh, till tomorrow. He's going to be back.
Oh, he's calling tomorrow.
Mr. Willoughby can be in no doubt of your enthusiasm for him.
Why should I hide my regard? 7 years would be insufficient to make some people acquainted with each other, and 7 days can be more than enough for
Yeah, you
others.
see, Oak?
Mm-hmm.
I feel I know Mr. Willoughby already. If I had more shallow feelings, I could perhaps conceal them as you do.
Oh.
That is not fair.
I'm
Ouch.
sorry, Eleanor. I did not mean that.
yourself, Marianne.
She's just excited, guys.
Not
Come on,
understand
give her a
that,
break.
Well, because Eleanor knows that Edward's sister and mom don't want him to get married. Otherwise, maybe she would put her heart out on her sleeve a little bit.
Oh, she's getting Edward. If not, we riot. I don't know where.
We turn over the table.
And well, not in the studio.
30 years after the movie comes out, local man arrested after watching
Sense and Sensibility
on Amazon Prime.
I went with my heart.
There he is.
Oh,
Learned this from.
Right in front of Snape.
That's like a time period piece friend zoning. It's so brutal.
Well, I mean,
what's he cutting her hair for?
you guys try that move on your significant others. Cut some of their hair.
What the fuck is going on here?
We're getting slugged in the face.
Hey, before we start judging, just remember this could have been a thing of when
He kissed it.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Is this a done deal? Did this happen already? Or are they just hanging out? I think they're just hanging out.
Just having some fun.
I don't know if you guys
got
have
a
seen.
wild
I don't know
side.
if you guys have seen the shades of this, but I'm seeing shades of Little Women, of course, here a little bit.
Sisters.
Miss Dashwood, Miss Marianne, a picnic on my estate at Delaford. If you would care to join us, Mrs. Jenny's daughter and her husband are travelling up especially. I will, of course, be including Mr. Willoughby in the party.
What?
Oh,
I should
now
be
you got my
delighted to join
attention.
you, Connor.
You're inviting Willoughby? That's weird.
Psych.
Well,
He's not invited.
Is he? He's looking at the sister now.
Marianne does not approve of hiding her emotions. The sooner she becomes acquainted with the ways of the world, the better.
I knew a lady very like your sister. The result was only ruination and despair.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to the story that we were told.
Colonel
Reminds him of
Brandon's role is
somebody
perfect,
that was
but
important
quite
to him.
launching. Imagine my surprise, Mrs. Dashwood, when Charlotte and her lord and master appeared with our cousin Lucy. The last person I expected to see. Probably came to join in the fun, for there are no funds for such luxuries at home.
It was the Mrs. Dashwood she wanted to see, not Delaford, Mamma. Mr. Palmer, are
Is
they
John
not
not
the very
showing up?
prettiest
I don't know that he.
There's Hugh.
There he is.
House.
He's forced to make everybody like him. He says it is quite shocking.
Never said anything so irrational.
He comes. Now you shall see Charlotte.
There's John.
Oh, look at her. She's just electric with anticipation.
Running alongside the carriage. Careful.
May I beg a seat beside you, Miss Dashwood? I've so longed to make your better acquaintance. I've heard nothing but the highest praise of you.
I would be delighted. But Sir John and Mrs. Jennings are too excessive in their compliments. I'm sure to disappoint.
No, for it was from quite another source I heard you praised.
What can this be?
Was that Edward?
Fast away to London.
No, impossible.
Imperative.
But we're all assembled.
Forgive me.
I hope it's something serious, Colonel.
Well, obviously, it's serious.
Frailty, thy name is Brandon.
A very wicked pair. Colonel Brandon will be sadly missed.
Why? When he's the sort of man that everyone speaks well of and no one remembers to talk to.
Exactly.
Nonsense.
Brandon is very highly respected at Barton Park.
Let's have no secrets between friends. Let me winkle them out of you. I do not have you married to the Colonel by tea time. I shall swallow my own bonnet. As if you could marry such a character.
Oh.
Oh.
This place has one claim on my affections that none other can possibly share. Promise me you'll never change it. Never. I'm honored that so fair and virtuous a lady should compromise her honor.
I was really hoping for a heel turn there.
Yeah.
There's no way he's this
He was
good.
giving shades of it there.
I don't trust him yet. He gets rid of those sideburns, I'll trust him.
There's something very particular I should like to ask you.
You'll ask Mamma if I may stay behind from church.
Until tomorrow, then.
He's gonna ask. You know, just because Alan Rickman doesn't come in like a peacock showing his feathers like this guy doesn't make him any less of a gentleman.
He had better flowers anyways.
Whoa. Why is...
What is wrong, dearest?
Forgive me, Mrs. Dashwood. I'm sent, that is to say, Lady Allen has exercised the privilege of riches upon a dependent cousin and is sending me to London.
Oh.
But your business will not detain you from us for long, I hope.
I have no idea of returning immediately into Devonshire. I'm seldom invited to Allenham more than once a year. It is folly to linger in this manner. I will not torment myself further.
Oh. His ace card just got pulled.
Well, sounds like Willoughby didn't have much of a choice.
No, it was...
They must have quarrelled. Perhaps this Lady Allen disapproves of his regard for Marianne.
She's not rich enough.
Cannot Do you ask her if he has proposed?
Certainly not. We must trust her to confide in us in her own time.
There was something so underhand in the manner of his leaving.
You are resolved then to think the worst of him.
I'm not resolved.
I am. I don't trust sideburns.
I
Just the sideburns. That's it.
I don't trust him, Dave.
Came in peacocking way too much.
Same sideburns heel Rock had.
Well, you bring up a good point, Dancer.
Acquainted with your sister-in-law's mother. With Fanny's mother. I have never met her.
Lucy, if she tells you aught of the famous Mr.
Spill
F,
it.
you must pass it on.
Will you take a turn with me, Miss Dashwood?
Oh, all right. Let's get the gossip.
I had no idea that you were at all connected with that family. I'm certainly nothing to Mrs. Ferris at present. The time may come when we may be very intimately connected.
What's being arranged here?
Edward and I have been secretly engaged.
Oh,
Oh, you may well be surprised.
5 years?
I don't know, and I could entirely trust you to keep our secret. Edward would not mind my telling you, for I know he looks on you quite as his own sister.
Oh. I've never seen it the other way around before.
He was 4 years under the tutelage of my uncle, Mr. Pratt, down in Plymouth.
Yep, that's him.
Was that what he was trying to tell her and then got cut off by Fanny? Because that's where the story was going.
Maybe.
It does not even very hard on us both. We can scarcely meet about twice a year.
Oh, look at her
Look
handkerchief.
at the handkerchief.
Oh, come on.
Gives those to all the girls.
I cannot stand it any longer. I must know what you're saying, Lucy.
Miss May, you'll not tell us so.
Give me my word.
We were talking of London, ma'am, and of all its diversions.
Do you hear that, Charlotte? I make for London shortly, and I invite you, Lucy, both and Mrs. Dashwood, to join me.
Wasn't she in Potter too?
What can I do?
My memory is escaping me.
We know who's in London.
Oh, please, can I go on 12 soon?
That is Umbridge!
That's Umbridge.
That is?
That's Umbridge!
Gotta give her different hair.
Holy fuck, it is.
Mother can spare you very well.
Of course I can.
Of course she can.
This is awesome. We have Snape, Umbridge, Emma's character, which is escaping my goddamn mind right now.
Oh, what were you and Miss Steele talking about so long?
Nothing of significance.
Well, there you go, Quinn.
You know who's still hanging around? Old, reliable Brandon. Old, solid, reliable Brandon.
He's in London. Well, he's in London too.
Yeah, he's in London now.
He got summoned to London quickly.
I mean, they got you on the poster. It can't be that bad, right? He's on the poster.
So they are definitely engaged. Mrs. Jennings says your sister will buy her wedding clothes here in town.
John and Fanny are in town. I think we shall be forced to see them.
Uh-oh. Is Miss Marian here?
Oh, Eleanor, it is Willoughby. Indeed, it is.
Okay, you just calm down.
With a new woman, probably.
Just relax, guy.
Excuse me, Carol.
What a pleasure to see you.
He's twice her age.
Have you been in London all this while?
I have heard reports through town. Miss Dashwood, tell me once and for all, is everything finally resolved between your sister and Mr. Willoughby?
Colonel, though neither one has informed me of their understanding, I have no doubt of their mutual affection.
To your sister, I wish all imaginable happiness.
Oh, a real convincing Hans.
To Mr. Willoughby, that he may endeavour to deserve.
He's saying all the right stuff. What's your problem with him?
Forgive me.
It's like he has dirt on him.
I don't have a it's just Hans, man. I told you I don't got a problem with him.
You guys want to pick on me for not trusting Brandon?
I trusted Brandon.
He has the whole time. You haven't trusted John at all.
Yeah.
And we just thought
John, did I say sorry?
Yeah, you meant
John.
John.
Yeah, and Edward's slimy as well. He's been engaged for 5 years.
Secret.
You calm down. He could have
I called it right away. I'm like, he's going to be slimy.
But he might have fallen in love with a new woman.
Do be careful. careful, dear.
Oh, look out! Look out! Isn't Umbridge great?
Just look at that.
Gosh, I already have a headache.
Do you see anyone of our acquaintance?
Unfortunately not.
Mrs. Dashwood!
Boo!
You're not alone, I trust.
Indeed, no. John has just got to fetch my brother.
This is good news indeed. At long last.
Oh,
Do you think Fanny had any impact with her?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
May I present my brother-in-law, Mr. Robert Ferrers, Miss Dashwood, Miss Steele, and Miss Marianne, my dear ladies.
Oh my God.
Is Mr. Edward not here? Miss Dashwood here was counting on him.
Oh, Jesus. Oh!
Has no special acquaintance here to make his attendance.
Oh, and both of them.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
You must dance with our lovely Miss Dashwood here.
Oh, it's the dance scene, Oak. You know what happens after the dance scene? Then they get married.
That's how it goes.
Like immediately.
It's tradition. What about his sideburns, Dave?
You can't draw the stupid little bow tie and those sideburns are terrible. You can't trust him.
You reside in Devonshire, I believe, Miss Dashwood.
Yes.
I am
She deserves so much better. God.
If I had any money to spare, I should build one myself.
I should build one myself.
Money to spare.
Oh, what is John doing?
John boy.
How's your family?
We are all extremely well.
Oh, she hasn't seen him yet.
Thank you for your kind inquiry.
Willoughby!
Well, no running now.
Yep.
What's going on?
Oh, she's about to get some bad news.
Oh,
Look at it.
what?
He's going to pretend he doesn't know her.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
How do you do, Miss Marianne?
Why have you not come to see me? Have you not received my letters?
Not
I
one.
have the pleasure of receiving an information you're so good as to send me.
For heaven's sake, Willoughby, tell me what is wrong.
Oh, maybe his family doesn't want him with her.
That's what we're basically told, yeah.
If you'll excuse me, I must rejoin my party.
Oh, boy.
Told you couldn't trust those sideburns.
What a punk ass bitch. Oh, he's highfalutin society is what Willoughby is.
Well, because if he marries her, then I get the impression he's cut off from everything.
Ask him to come to me instantly.
And that's the choice he made.
Uh-oh. Oh, look at
look at that.
Oh, no, you didn't. The fuck if you gave that
Acquaintances from the country.
Oh, you see the way she put her arm on him? Uh-oh.
You need some air.
There he was, old reliable Brandon.
She actually sent him messages during the night.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Midget was not himself.
What are you
Please tell me. You have no confidence in me.
This reproach from you. You who confide in no one.
I have nothing to tell.
Nor I. I because I conceal nothing, and you because you communicate nothing.
Come on now, you guys have had each other's back. Don't let this start an argument.
It hurts to see her looking so forlorn.
I'm surprised you never mentioned how agreeable your sister-in-law is. And Mr. Robert, also affable.
It is perhaps fortunate that none of them knows of your engagement.
So I have breakfast myself.
I'm quite at a loss to discover in what point I could be so unfortunate as to offend you. If I have given rise to a belief of more than I felt or meant to express, I shall reproach myself for not having been more guarded. My affections have long been engaged elsewhere, and it is with great regret that I return your letters and the lock of hair which you so obligingly bestowed upon me.
You're the one that cut it off, John, and kissed it. Oh. Sorry, made you think more of me.
He's not so unworthy as you think him.
Not so unworthy.
Oh.
Did he tell you that he loved you?
He tells every woman that.
Yeah.
No, see?
Never absolutely.
Oh.
It was every day implied, but never declared.
I had to come straighter. How are you, Miss Marianne? He is to be married at the end of the month to a Miss Grey with £50,000.
Oh.
There.
Oh.
See?
There it is.
Better let her have her cry out. And I've done with it.
I will go look out something to tempt her.
Apparently, they never were engaged.
Engaged.
This guy's crushing it.
My dear, we might consider having them to stay with us for a few days. We are, after all, family.
I would ask them with all my heart, but
No,
I've
you
already
wouldn't.
asked Miss Steele for a visit, and we cannot deprive Mrs. Jennings of all her company at once. We can invite your sisters some other year, you know.
Some other
And
year.
Miss Steele will profit far more from your generosity. Poor girl.
Excellent motion.
I'm sorry, I love those two guys. I can't. They're great.
Excellent notion.
How is your sister?
I must get her home as quickly as possible.
Permit me to accompany you and take you straight on from Cleveland to Barton myself. Mrs. Jennings has apprised you of certain events in my past. The sad outcome of my connection with a young woman named Eliza. 20 years ago, before she died, Eliza bore an illegitimate child. The father, whoever he was, abandoned them. She begged me to look after the child. I took the child. Beth is her name. Almost a year ago, she disappeared. She was with child, and the blackguard who had left her with no hint of his whereabouts.
Do you mean Willoughby?
Willoughby knocked up Brandon's adopted daughter?
He fled to London.
Yes, he
That's
left
why
us
he
that
left.
morning without any explanation.
Yep. To save his own hide.
Yeah. Fuck you, John. See? Can't trust sideburns.
Since learnt from Lady Allen that he did mean to propose that day, I cannot deny that his intentions towards Marianne were honourable.
Until.
Had it not been.
For the money.
I don't care the circumstances. John, toodles.
Here is someone to cheer you up, Miss Dashwood.
Oh, no.
Who is it going to be?
I do believe your sister-in-law is taking quite a fancy to me. I was introduced to Edward's mother.
There's a Mr. Edward Ferrars to see you, Miss Dashwood.
Oh, shit. Oh.
He looks disheveled.
Well, just right. He hasn't seen what else is behind door number one.
Take a left.
Oh!
Take a left.
It didn't even see her.
Miss Dashwood, how can I...
You know Miss Steele, of course.
Oh, she blew it. She blew it. Oh, he was going to do it.
Oh, my goodness.
No, we need to hash this out together here.
How do you do, Miss Steele?
Do sit down.
He was gonna confess his love for her.
Yes, he was.
Oh. And she gave him an out so he didn't blow it.
You must be surprised to find me here, Mr. Ferrars. I expect you thought I was at your sister's house.
Let me fetch Marianne.
Oh!
At last you found us.
Forgive me, Marianne. My visit is shamefully overdue.
Why have you not come to see us before?
Oh, boy.
I have been much engaged elsewhere.
But what was that when there were such friends to be met?
Perhaps, Miss Marianne, you think young men never honour their engagements, little or great.
For Edward is the most incapable of being selfish of anyone I ever saw.
Oh.
Look at him at the same time.
Eleanor, help me to persuade him.
Bro, just bail. Abort! Jump out that window! Jump out that window! Oh, dude,
No,
go!
you stand up and be a man and talk this out.
No, you just
abort.
I must take my leave.
No.
You would excuse me.
Sit your ass down and talk it out.
Tell the truth.
In that case, perhaps you might escort me back to your sister's house, Mr. Ferrars.
Oh, damn it. Nothing got settled there.
Nothing got resolved.
If I were Edward, I would assume you did not care for me at all.
Tell her.
I don't think the time is not right for what she's been going through.
Yeah.
So technically, it's not a lie. She just hasn't brought it up yet.
Omission.
Well, because they were just
Say that
talking about how they were telling each other everything
You were
and trying to
married
not
far
keep
better
secrets.
than either of the
Well, remember,
Dashwood
she
girls.
did call her.
Oh,
out, say
listen to this. You guys are missing this bitch again.
There is a young man. His family would certainly oppose the match. Hush. They will allow it as soon as they see you, my dear.
Well,
Oh,
A
really?
great secret. I am the soul of discretion.
Oh, let's put that to the test.
I like the zooming in.
Yep. Viper in my bosom. What was that? What is that? What the fuck was that?
Freaking Three Stooges move.
What is going on?
Mr. Edward Ferris is engaged these 5 years to Lucy Steele. Poor Mr. Ferris.
That's how she finds out.
But he has refused to break his promise to Lucy. He has stood by her, good man, cut off without a penny. I must go to Lucy. Your sister-in-law scolded
That's something
her like
John wouldn't do.
No.
Why did you not tell me?
Lucy told me in the strictest confidence.
He cannot marry her.
I believe that he will be happy in the knowledge that he did his duty and kept his word. Bewitching in the idea of one's happiness entirely depending on one person.
And
There's plenty of fish in the sea.
yep, she can do better. She can do much better.
Always resignation and acceptance. Always prudence and honor and duty.
Well, that's how you two are different.
Where is your heart?
What do you know of anything but your own suffering?
Oh boy.
For weeks, Marianne, I've had this pressing on me, forced on me by the very person whose prior claims ruined all my hopes. And had I not been bound to silence, I could have produced proof enough of a broken heart, even for you.
Oh.
This is the time to let it out, though.
Have a good hug, good cry.
Yep.
Lots of bonding time and shared trauma.
They've both gone through their share in this last 40 minutes.
I have a proposal to make that should enable him to marry Miss Steele immediately. Since the gentleman is so close a friend to your family, perhaps you'd be good enough to mention it to him.
Mr. Edward Ferris.
Here we go. Back here again.
Come on in, Brokey.
I have no right to speak, I know.
I have good news.
I mean, he did give up the fortune, so.
He's a man of his word. I'll give him that.
I think you know of our friend, Colonel Brandon. He has great pleasure in offering you the parish on his estate.
Most stand-up guy in the whole movie.
The unkindness of your family makes you astonished to find friendship elsewhere.
Oh, that's a line.
Oof.
Colonel Brandon must be a man of great worth and respectability.
He is the kindest and best of men.
May I ask why the Colonel did not tell me himself?
I think he felt it would be better coming from a friend.
Ugh. Friend.
Wow.
Your friendship has been the most important of my life.
You will always have it.
You're lucky to have her friendship, pal.
Oh, those are some beautiful horses.
What a stroke of luck for Lucy and Edward to find a parish so close to Barton. That'll cheer you up, Miss Marianne.
Still reading the paper.
To think, we can see his insufferable house on the top of our hill. I shall ask Jackson to plant some very tall trees.
You will do nothing of the sort.
Everything she says, he's like, nope.
What a role for Hugh Laurie.
We'll just take a stroll. A moment's peace, Eleanor.
Will not rain. You always say that, and then it always does.
Well,
I shall keep to the garden.
look at that. I mean, look at the greenery here. It's fantastic.
Edward Scissorhands help out on that?
Imagine maintaining that.
Come and meet little Thomas.
Oh, what are we doing here? We got wind. She's walking off, determined.
Thought I heard the sound of waves.
I cannot see Marianne.
She did make a mention to go chasing blue skies, right? During that rain.
It is an ever-fixing mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. Will be.
Don't you cry for him. Don't you dare.
It's funny, she told her, Eleanor, go, where's your heart? John didn't choose with his heart.
I think we can all guess where she went.
Oh, they gave him actual lines.
Wow.
But we must get her warm.
Higgins, fetch us some blankets. Blankets? And brandy.
I mean, what else does this guy have to do?
Dude, he's like twice her age.
How do you know for
she's
sure?
a teenager here. He's like 40s.
We don't know she's a teenager.
Okay, well,
They haven't said. And Kate Winslet doesn't age, dude. She looks the same now as what she does in this.
Right, that's irrelevant to my point. Fuck, man.
I think Marianne may need a doctor.
You'll wear yourself out, Colonel. Do not worry.
It is an infectious fever that has taken far more serious hold than I would have expected. I would recommend the hasty removal for your child, Mrs. Palmer.
Getting everybody out of the house.
I am more sorry than I can say. If you would prefer me to stay, I am at your service.
Mr. Palmer, that is very kind. But Colonel Brandon and Dr. Harris will look after us.
She is not doing as well as I would like.
Yeah, what can he even do during these times?
Well, I'm not going to CVS to get any antibiotics.
What can I do?
Cast a
Oh,
spell.
you have done so much already. She would be easier if her mother were here.
Fetch her immediately.
Are they really gonna take her away from us?
No.
Well, what if it's one of those cases where he just the
I wonder what that's
the old
bloodletting.
I cannot pretend, Miss Dashwood, that your sister's condition is not very serious. You must prepare yourself.
Whoa.
I will return very shortly.
Is this really happening?
Marianne.
It happened in Little Women.
She just has a case of a broken heart. She'll be all right.
I cannot do without you. I tried to bear everything else. I will try.
Oh. These two have always had each other's back.
On they're the two constants in each other's lives too. Okay, here we go. Good. Fever broke.
Yeah.
We're good. Doc was ready to write her off.
It's all you needed right there. And here comes Brandon with Mom.
She is out of danger. She is out of danger.
Where's Eleanor?
I'm here. Dearest, I'm here.
And look who else is here.
Colonel Brandon.
Always.
She finally acknowledged him a little bit. That would have been killer if that would have been a line.
Oh my God.
Always.
Oh, she's got a new.
Got
Finally,
another
I
one.
Yeah, she's been hanging out in the treehouse for like 3 years or whatever it is.
was like, we haven't seen her in quite a minute.
Way but one word which from thy lips doth fall.
He certainly is not so dashing as Willoughby.
Mm-hmm.
For there is nothing lost that may be found if sought.
If sought.
Shall we continue tomorrow?
No, for I must away.
Where?
That I cannot tell you. It is a secret.
This has got to go to 9 3/4.
There's a certain plaza I got to fly to.
Poor Willoughby, he will always regret you.
But does it follow that had he chosen me, he would have been content? He would have had a wife he loved, but no money. And might
can
soon
you
have learned
act
to rank
looking
the
at
demands of his pocketbook far above the demands of his heart.
Yep.
Bingo.
I spoke to Mrs. Braintree. Miss Potterton has had another stroke.
Oh.
And Mr. Ferrers is married, but of course you know that, man. Miss Lucy Steele as was. And how they be sure to send you a piece of the cake.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Send us a piece of the wedding cake.
He must like you very much. It is not just for me.
Gorgeous.
Here's Colonel Brandon, Marianne.
Or
Is it?
Is it?
I do not think it is the Colonel.
Ugh. What? Come on. Did she, early prediction, did she marry the other Ferris? Well, because she was having fun with Robert at the dance.
Mr. Ferrers for you, Mum.
Yes, we weren't expecting you.
What a pleasure to see you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see no ring.
Me neither.
May I wish you great joy, Edward.
Like just with the whole family.
Well, it's big news.
I hope you have left Mrs. Ferrers well.
Tolerably. Thank you.
Let's hear. I don't mean to pry, but I want a pry line.
I think you mean my brother. You mean Mrs. Robert Ferrers.
Mrs. Robert Ferrers?
I received a letter from Miss Steele communicating to me the transfer of her affections to my
The
brother.
transfer.
She broke it off.
Only right that she be released from our engagement.
Well, well, well.
Then you
are single.
are not married.
No.
Not engaged?
But I could be.
Oh, wow. Oh, finally, just raw emotion from her.
I still think she can do better.
So
Steele knew that he was in love with her.
Eleanor, I met Lucy when I was very young. My behavior at Norland was very wrong. I've come here with no expectations, only to profess, now that I am at liberty to do so, that my heart is and always will be yours.
Forgive me for lying earlier, but
Look at him.
if Eleanor's happy, I will support.
Go up in the tree.
Eleanor.
I like the way they did the support for the ladder.
Yeah.
He's kneeling down.
Oh, we're doing this now.
Oh, there's the cake. Just a graveyard out front. What the?
It's the church.
It's a church.
Oh,
look at
right. Look at that. That's happiness
true
right
love.
there. Oh, a double wedding we got. 2-for-1 deal.
Brandon doing the never give up John Cena approach. Got it. Fuck you.
Oh, look at you.
Stop throwing flowers at me. This is fun for me.
She had to deal with it.
Yeah, fuck off, John. Eat your heart out. Yeah, take your whiny ass back home.
I'll just go home to my mansion.
Maybe go back to Beth and do the right thing.
She ain't going anywhere near that.
She's greedy. Look at him. Money means nothing to this guy. He just is all about happiness.
Because he's in love. And then he had freaking Fanny. Grab every coin you can.
Yeah.
Grab every single one.
That is it. Like there's a post credit, but I'm still checking.
That would be great.
Post credit in a 1995 period.
Hey, you never know. No post credit.
There's Wallaby. You just see a
never
door
know.
open up and Brandon's behind him, and it just goes to black.
How many times have we just, nothing's there, and then people in the comments, you idiots, there was a post
You
credit.
missed it.
Oh my goodness.
Guys, this channel has given us some great stuff. And it's given us some unexpected stuff for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But these now 3
Jane
Austen novels turned to movies that we've watched have over-delivered and been such a surprise. I'm in complete awe. I'm in complete awe of how good they are, and how not only how good they are. Like, look, if it was just me and I was just having a good time with it, that would be one thing. But all 4 of us are sitting here just loving this. Like, this is a one time where I will speak for everybody, and that we're all just sitting here loving this, having a great time. And it's got to be like the most unexpected thing that I certainly could have predicted. Just fantastic. Just, so many. The characters, that's the thing that I love, and not just this movie, but all the ones that, the 2 we've done before. The way that, let's give Jane her credit, for writing them initially, but you still have to transfer that into a medium of film and make it work, and the actors have to deliver, and they do. They nail the casting for all the side characters, and they all have such personality. It's awesome. They do such a good job, and it's so entertaining. And of course, they take their time with the set pieces and the shots that they have of the outdoors, and you feel like you're there. I've said this previously before. I think I said it about Interview with a Vampire, where they do such a good job of the setting and the dialogue, and everybody's delivering. Everybody has their own little personality, regardless of how small and how little screen time the character might have. They're all very unique and they all stand out. And I can't applaud the folks behind this movie in particular enough. Did such a fantastic job with that. It makes it so entertaining when all the characters are so unique and different. It's just such a pleasure to watch, because, normally when you do that, and if you have a large background cast of characters, if they don't have the time to give everybody personality, or maybe the actors don't deliver in a certain way. And look, in some of these period pieces, I imagine the actors get to have a little fun, and in some cases get to be a little over the top. We saw that with John come running down to the water. The way that he did was pretty funny. But, just everybody that was involved, the grandmother type woman, I forget her name because I'm in the moment here. I can't
Jennings,
think of it.
Ms. Jennings.
Yeah, her and her husband were just
that was her son-in-law
or her son-in-law. With all the dogs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They were so great, and they didn't really have a ton of screen time if you put it all together, but they were just so fantastic. And who would have thought for them to have, let's give him a bunch of dogs that are poorly behaved, and he'll be slapping them around with his hat. And I guess what I'm getting at is all these little details, right down to the horse manure in the street. They transport you there, and they make you feel like you're there. And it's so easy to get wrapped up in these characters. That all being said, I love the story of the two sisters, and essentially of them trying to find love in a very unique time and period where things were very different. And, where you grew up, where your class was, and how much money you had, you could determine, not only would your fate be determined as to who you would marry, but somebody else could determine it for you and be like, no, you're not marrying them. They're from a lower class, or they don't have money. If you marry this person, you'll get 50,000 pounds and whatever it was, a couple of cows. I don't even remember. And so it just shows, and when you get the ending that you wanted, where everybody's happy together, you get kind of the true love ending. It makes it that much better because they had to overcome so much to make it happen. And Alan Rickman just did a fantastic job as the steady, reliable guy who was always there, willing to do what it took, had a really, really interesting backstory with him. And they've done it to us in these movies before, where they'll bring somebody in all flamboyant and peacocking, and they're a lot of fun and they're funny, but we find out they're not really who they claim to be.
I saw through it.
Diamond Dave says he saw through
saw
it.
the rock heel sideburns.
Those sideburns and that bow tie.
I was skeptical right away with his tan that he had, given we were supposed to be in England here. We're not necessarily known for having the greatest sun. So, I was skeptical a bit, but I admit he may have tricked me a little bit, but the sideburns were a dead giveaway. But yeah, I mean, the character of dead giveaway.
They ended up being a dead giveaway.
But the character of Alan Rickman was great. Like a guy who's been through a lot. He wasn't really anybody's first choice, but he didn't come in with the immediate sparks. And sometimes those relationships are better, where you have to grow kind of to love somebody, or get to know somebody for the complaints that you might have had about Pride or Prejudice, where it's like, hey, they went on 2 dates and now they're getting married. And with Alan Rickman's character, we saw that him and Kate had to get to know each other. He kind of proved himself a little bit, showed how good of a man he was.
There was a lot of time invested.
Mm-hmm. And just showed how good of a man he was.
With everybody's relationships.
And how good of a gentleman that he was. So I just loved that. And I thought this one was fantastic. I don't know if I'm in the moment or not, but I really enjoyed this one. Just maybe because it's been a little while, but for me right now in this moment, I rank this one as my favorite of the Jane Austen movies that we've done.
Wow, that's high praise.
Well, like I said, I could be in the moment because we got the happy finish. So
Yeah, this was another amazing movie. Well done. Ang Lee, I was worried when I saw that he was directing it because because of Hulk. But man, I can see why you got the Hulk, because what you did here, because of just all the set dressing, the shots that he took. Him and the cinematographer did a great job just setting everything up and just letting the actors act. And all of them did a great job, from, obviously you knew Hugh and Kate and Emma were going to do great, but then even the girl that played Margaret was amazing in here. I mean, she was gone for a minute there for a while, which kind of was like, where is she? Because she brought a lot of levity in a lot of the scenes, but I think when she wasn't in there, that was when it was the more serious scenes between Eleanor and Marianne, because there was a lot going on between them, because you had the one girl that was like all about falling in love quick and being boisterous and out there and everything, but yet Eleanor was more reserved, kept everything more inside of her. And there was even a great quote, I wish I would have wrote it down, where they said, you're not speaking from the heart, and I'm not listening from the heart, when she was writing that, when she was writing the letter to John Boy one last time to send him the most of love that he had. But it was an interesting thing having then also Brandon, even in his sense of where he absolutely did pine and love over Marianne, he still was there to tell Eleanor that, hey, all of his wrongdoings, if he wouldn't had to go for this money, he, would have definitely said yes to marrying her and, proposed, and they would have been happy together. And so, and it, as much as that probably broke his heart to do, he told her, because he wanted her to, I don't know, feel the happiest she could have felt about the situation, because it was just Eleanor right before that saying, like, she's trying to justify everything. And she's wrong, and she's wrong. He's like, well, I mean, put your mind at ease, because this is exactly what happened. Oh, so you had to.
You had to go back and see the scene again.
He came and brought back up the scene
where John comes running in.
John comes running in. That has got to be one of the best pops we've ever had on the show for something so silly. Just
so dramatic.
We're gonna have to put that in again, just the way you did it.
May I have your permission to ascertain if there are any breaks?
So,
dude wasn't a doctor.
Nobody spoke, but he stayed at a Holiday Inn last night.
right.
Remember that old joke? But yeah, this was a phenomenal movie. I loved the chemistry between everyone in the movie. Once again, was amazing. I loved Hugh Laurie. Palmer, I believe, was his character's name. What
an easy role for him.
He had an easy role, but then at the end, you saw him have the heart to give it to Eleanor to like tell her, like, is there anything they need? I will gladly stay behind and help you out. And so then he got to have a little bit more, so to speak, than what he had than during the beginning of it. But he was also married to Umbridge. That someone on here didn't even know.
Didn't even recognize.
Someone had to call it out.
It wasn't James Hetfield?
Just as you were talking about, see if Fanny was going to turn out to be one of the most evil characters.
For the tee up, though.
Well, because she did look familiar, and you're like, so then when you said it too, it's like, all right, I'm pretty sure I'll throw it out there. And so I was glad that I was right. And you're like, yeah, that is hers. Oh boy, would my face have been blue.
Yeah,
but
was,
another really great movie. Jane Austen, these books have been amazing, and they've done a great job so far from what we've seen. Put them into film.
Dame Emma Thompson.
Oh, it's Dame now. Oh, good for her. That's awesome.
Is that like being knighted?
Yeah, like Dame Judi Dench. It's like the highest, I think, for acting for females.
This movie was so much fun, and I didn't love Pride and Prejudice for a number of reasons, and I know same author, period piece. I thought this was, I don't want to say significantly better, because now I look back on Pride and Prejudice that I feel like, I don't know, it's just caught up in the moment. I'm not trying to, walk back my score on that film. But I did really enjoy this one. I thought the performances from everybody involved were phenomenal. A lot of serious moments. There was enough levity in the film to keep it lighthearted, whether it be on purpose or just dudes sliding in. I'm sure everybody when this came out, everybody's first time watching is like, all right, with this guy.
Well, and the guys at the ball, I mean, being all over the top and goofy.
Right. It's kind of like the reaction. You know what it reminded me of? It was like when we were watching Twisters and Glenn Powell comes out of the house in his white shirt and his cowboy hat and it's raining. You're like, come on. So, no, it was a lot of fun. But on the serious side of stuff, it showed a lot of struggles that people faced as far as being able to love who you want to love in the face of society that says you're supposed to marry, at your own level, or, with people who have money have to marry people with money and all this bullshit. And it's like, just imagine just falling in love with somebody and just wanting to be with them. And, oh yeah, if you go marry them, we're going to cut you off. And it's not even a case of, they're a bad person or, they're somebody who is terrible to you, or, look, I'm sure there's plenty of instances today where it's like, hey, we don't want you to marry that person because they're a felon, or this or that or that or this. But it was just simply like, know your station, and your place in society. And it's really tough. And, the difficult thing, we saw early on in the film is that, for the women in that day and age, it's like your place in society oftentimes was just tied into how much money the dude you were with had.
Yeah.
You
Or
know
your
what I'm
family.
saying? It's, if you didn't inherit money, and Emma Thompson's character talked about that. She talked about not being able to go out and earn it yourself, having a strong work ethic and being talented, but that didn't put you at a higher place in society. You either married into money or you inherited family money. So some struggles there, and of course that was highlighted, and we saw that in the other period pieces as well. Maybe highlighted a little bit more in Little Women than it was here, but in any regard, a really strong theme in the film. We saw the different ways in which people show their emotion, the different ways in which people approach relationships. Obviously, Marianne's character very much wore her heart on her sleeve, very outgoing, didn't hide any of her emotions, and of course, Eleanor was quite the opposite. Do we know how old Eleanor was here in this film? Or how old, or in the book, how old she was supposed to be?
Let's look it up.
So Marianne Diamond Dave did look up the age gap. It looks like Colonel Brandon's character was 35 and Marianne's was 17. So
18.
Okay, Eleanor was only supposed to be 19. When you think about teenagers and kind of that young love and just impulsive behavior and things like that, there's not that big of a gap between 17 and 19. So this wasn't really a situation where Eleanor was older and that much wiser and looked at love different. That was just her personality. And I thought they showed that very well. And we had two very, very dynamic characters in the film.
So in the beginning of the story, she's 19.
It's all over.
Okay, and the younger sister is 17. Look, I made some.
So we'll lean on you folks.
Yeah, so let's talk about the relationships a little bit. I know, like, they want you to kind of like Edward, and he said, I was young and foolish when I got engaged, and I understand that, but then at some point, look, things were different back then, right? So we have to understand everything we're talking about relationship-wise, be it, how long you were dating somebody before you got engaged, your commitment, staying within your station, the age gaps, everything that we discuss, you have to take into consideration that is a period piece. Like, I look at Alan Rickman and Kate Winslet, and I'm curious as how old Alan Rickman was when this was actually filmed. Do we know that? Because
I think given that it's a period piece, you have to remember too that by 18, 19, 20, they might have multiple kids already, both a husband and a wife of that age.
Look, in today's day and age, I think it would be
we look through more of a modern day
right,
time.
but you have to.
Back then, it was
in the
completely
1800s. Look,
different.
35 and 17 is a large age gap. And I would say in today's day and age that there would be very little common ground that you would find between a 35 and a 17-year-old as far as the points you're at in your life, your goals, your aspirations, just your maturity levels. There's so many different things. So many reasons why you could argue that a 35 and a 17-year-old shouldn't be together. In fact, I would challenge you to argue in today's
49.
day and age why they should be.
Yeah, it works for Belichick.
So, yeah, and it doesn't work. It's a joke. So Rickman was 49 in this film, and that's another thing that, like, I'm not sure that he was. And look, and Alan Rickman, we love the guy. He's wildly talented. I joked a few times. It's hard for me not to look at him as Hans and Snape. But the age gap. He was 49 when this was filmed, and it felt like a lot. But you were watching a lot larger age gap on screen. It did not feel like an 18-year age gap. It felt like a 20-plus year age gap.
It did to you, huh?
And so I don't think, look, I'm going to be flat out. I don't think Alan Rickman was a good casting for this film. I do not. I think he's wildly talented, but I think it took, because people are going to watch it. It came out in 95 in modern times. And I think everybody that goes into watching it is going to understand that it is a period piece, but you're still representing a significantly larger age gap on screen than what the book showed. And I love this movie. I really do. I really love the movie, and I love Alan Rickman, love Kate Winslet, but I think he was a very poor casting choice for this film. I loved his character. I loved the way he acted it out.
I can't agree with you on there, and that's fine.
But visual. Okay,
fine.
so here's my question: how old of an actor do you get and try to tell us? Well, he's 35. He was 50 here, and he was barely
a teenager.
Yeah, I mean,
around the same exact time.
And that's not justifying it, but I think he very clearly looked 50. Even with his hair and stuff, this is post Die Hard by 8 years. Alan Rickman. I don't like the casting of Alan Rickman in this.
I mean, I could go along with that, but to me, Kate didn't look 17 in this.
But
and
how old did she look?
Well,
to you?
and what I was going to say was that's a credit to her because Kate looks the same. At least the stuff I've seen her in, she doesn't look very different now as
she
to
looks
what she did in there.
drastically different now. She is still absolutely beautiful, but she looks drastically. Look at how much.
So she was born in 75.
She was 20 years old.
Filming was in 94. She was about 20.
But I mean, I don't want to get. But here's the thing,
but you're and I understand what you're saying, but you're representing something in film, and there was a 30-year age gap. You had a 19-year-old and basically a 50-year-old on screen, and it showed, and it was hard for me to get into that. Again, I can joke about Alan Rickman and whatever, being Hans and whatever, but you're trying to represent something where it's an 18-year age gap and you have a 30-year age gap. It didn't work for me. It didn't work for me at all. Still love the movie. No, and I understand that. And again, I'm not even criticizing the age gap. I think in today's day and age, you could have a lot of discussions about it, but it was very common back then. You do have to be careful when you, I think we have to be careful with a lot of things though, when we discuss and justify like, oh, that's just how the times were back then, because that's a slippery slope you can go down. Well, it was an age gap, 35 and 17 was okay. But that's just how it was. It was a period piece. Oh, well, women couldn't work and they couldn't have jobs and they had to be subservient to their husbands. But just like, let's keep in mind that it's a period piece. Now, it's reflecting how things were, but we have to be careful, as far as I'm concerned, not to romanticize things just because that's how they were back then. So I'm conflicted personally, like how I feel about the age gap, again, because I feel like a lot of times people watch this stuff and that's their justification. Well, times were different back then, so it was okay. Well, times were different. That doesn't justify it. Again, that's a very slippery slope you go down on when you start justifying certain behaviors and activities just because it was old. And the other thing with the age gap, and I know I'm going in hard on this, but it bothered me. The other thing with the age gap is how many more years are you comfortable with going either way? 35 and 17? Okay, what about 38 and 15? What if we go 2 years each way? What if we go 37 and 15? Is it okay then?
Well, I mean, if I would just be taking Jane Austen's word for it because she was alive then. She's the one that wrote it. She was writing a story reflective of the times. I don't think it's fair to go back and hold people in that time to a stance that we hold now. And she's the one that wrote it. She's the author. She was depicting the story of what was going on there. I don't think that should be just the huge or a big deal that to get hung up on when you had such a great story.
But I disagree in the sense that I think a lot of things that happened in the past, and this is globally, and this is a discussion that just whatever. I think a lot of things that happened in the past we look at and say, what was in the past, it was okay, because that's just how the way things were. And there's certain things that there's a lot of things that happened in the early 1800s that we don't even need to dive into that people look back at and say, that was really, really wrong. And then there's other things we look back and say, well, that's just how things were during the times. In any regard, I'm going way too hard in on the age difference because it was something that I wanted to touch on. And again, casting didn't love. The thing with Edward at the end, that was tough for me too. I don't know how romantic I found that whole thing to be, because it's like, oh yeah, I was engaged to be married. And I was going to go through with it because I felt that I had this duty, even though I didn't love her. But she left me for my brother, so now I'm going to come and confess my love to you. As opposed to what he should have done if he was really in love, is just say, okay, I understand these are my duties or whatever, but I'm in love with you. So I got to be honest, I didn't find that very romantic at the end either. I thought the performance by Eleanor was brilliant, and she broke down crying, and I think that was finally like her just letting every wall down. I don't think it was her crying happy tears like, oh, now I can get married. I think it was very much like, I've had this wall up and have been so stoic, and especially for a 19-year-old. And the other thing that we do have to recognize, 19, we look at it now very young, but she was also the oldest daughter in a household who didn't have a father, even if the father was there. And if you know anything about...
the father passed.
Yeah, the father passed. Yeah. And if you know anything about, family dynamics, especially in those times, a lot was put on the oldest daughter to be raising the families, to raise younger sisters, to do this. So some of the emotional walls that she kept up, I think, probably had to do with because she was the oldest daughter and had to face.
I have right here Eleanor, caretaker.
Yeah, she was, and that's how it was a lot with the eldest daughter. So that scene where she broke down crying, that wasn't for me like happy tears. That was just like an emotional, just like outburst because she had been dealing with so much. So it was interesting where they're trying to like have these very romantic stories, but you look at it and when you really break it down, you're like, oh shit, this is pretty messed up. The one thing that I think is really wild about this story is that, and I don't know if it's going to make the cut, but we kind of joked about this. I'm like, this is like if you told this story in 2025 and just adapted it, people would be like, oh wow, like this is a drama. You could have the age gap. You could have the guy that's been in love with somebody else for a long time and fell in love when they were younger. The fact that Brandon's adopted daughter got pregnant by the guy he was competing with, like that is some... Dude, that is some next level drama and some soap opera stuff, and I thought it was great. But again, period piece. The obviously the wardrobes, the settings that we said, I don't know how many times how great we thought that the countryside was and stuff like that. But look, I for every I don't want to say nitpick. I just have very strong opinions. I thought this was a phenomenal film. And of the ones that we've watched, I think this is the top for me. I'm almost excited that it's got me like this fired up because it can a film can evoke that much emotion from you. This was brilliant.
Yeah, love and deception, right? We got our love, we got a ton of deception. Those were one of the two themes. Those are two themes that I got from in here. I'm kind of with you on I'm not sure, and it's not because of the talent, because obviously Alan Rickman is talented, but I'm wondering if they should have, and they tried to make him look a little bit younger in here, but I'm wondering if they should have went with a younger.
He looks 50 in here.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they should have went with a younger.
Emma was 36 playing a 19-year-old
right
as well.
That's why I wanted to check her age.
Assuming that she's 19 in here, that's why I'm saying I'll have to lean on to the folks that know way more than us just viewing the movie here, because Yes, I did look up her age. Emma was 36 in 94 when they filmed this, but as you heard us say in here, we looked up Eleanor's age, but that was at the beginning of the story.
And that was in the book.
Well, answer.
But are we? And I know we weren't too far removed from father passing away. So should we assume that she's 19, 20 in here, played by 36-year-old?
They never told us. They never told us.
They
how
never
old they
gave
were.
us
It was
age.
up to your impression.
Answer brought up Luke Perry playing somebody much younger, and it's almost so we're talking about a period piece, and we were just going through kind of back and forth like what was acceptable during those times, and we almost have to do the same thing with 1995 Hollywood. Because a lot of people, when you're watching movies in today's day and age, forget it was not unusual for somebody in their 30s to play a high school kid in movies in the 80s and 90s. And it sounds like wild to look at it today, but in movies in the 80s and 90s, it was not unusual to have a 30-year-old playing a 17-year-old. And when you watch them now, you're like, I mean, we can joke about it, especially like, 80s, like high school movies. Like, this dude's 35 years old and they look it. But, so watching a movie from 95 now, knowing the ages and stuff, like, you're not going to tell me she's 19. I think that was a poor casting choice, even for as talented as she is, when you're trying to tell this story. And I question if they redid it again in 2025, would they cast people more closer to the age?
Well, and to Quint's point, like, not once they
never said
really tell an age, right? Like officially tell an age. So, while again, for me, I'm left wondering, like, just throw the ages out. I'm like, it was slightly confusing to me. Be like, are we actually playing to the actor's age, or are we playing to the character age? So for me, does not take any points away, but it left me wondering, and so in here, it makes you feel like that he is assuming, if I'm playing off the real person, we're playing off that age or somewhere in that bubble. And yes, Kate was definitely a little bit young. It looks way younger in here. So a little confusing slightly, but again, does not take anything really away. But for some folks, it may take them in or out of the movie in some certain parts. It did not for me. I just took the ride to see what the characters were going to do. With Eleanor, she, like I said, to me, she was the caretaker of the family when father passed, which I can't remember that actor's name. We'll have to go back there, but he was in Batman Begins and a lot of other things.
Yeah,
so I was kind of surprised he had that small
bad
of a
guy in
role.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's had
although that was
definitely a career. And I was just kind of surprised that we had that small of a role for him. And I'm going to be bouncing all over here. There's no straight timeline for me here, folks. But I'm curious, in our findings here, was the book really done in 1795 or started in 1795? And if not, I was saying that Jane was about 19. So I'm kind of curious, was that released around then, or how long the book has been around? So I'm really going to lean on to you book folks for some information. Edward, man, looking through today's eyes, of course, because this is probably how a lot of stuff went down back, 1800s and beyond, right? And it still happens today in some cases, where I just wish, and he was teeing it up. He was trying to spit it out, but then Fanny came and kind of kiboshed that, saying you have to go off to London, and got him out. So he was trying to get there. I don't fault, I know I gave him some shit here and saying Eleanor can do better, which I still believe she could. But, it would have been nice if the second that he started feelings now we would have the storyline if that were the case. So I get that. But in reality, it would have been nice to hey, I might be catching some feelings. But again, maybe that's not how it always was back then. So I'll keep that in mind too. John, the second he appeared after that hilarious slide into frame.
Oh, God, that was good.
It almost felt like someone had the blower and the rain and the fan, and he
got him.
And he just couldn't do anything but this.
Well, when you went back, I didn't catch his tan at first.
Yeah,
I did not catch it. But when Dave went back and showed it, he slides in. He's pretty well. Maybe he's working out in the fields.
No,
yeah, doubtful. But I just didn't trust that guy the second that he got on. Yes. Was I really judging on his sideburns? Absolutely. Was I really judging on the bow tie? Absolutely. I feel like, and I could be way off here, but I feel like they had distinguished a higher class with that kind of bow tie.
Yeah, I'm sure the clothing was very distinctive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and
look
a
at
notch under.
Look at Edward.
It's almost like a
This is
scarf.
Like you look at
like a
Edwards.
scarf bow tie.
But he was, well, if we go by Fanny, they were there.
They were up there.
So I feel like
they
that was
tried
kind
to
of a
be,
character trait too, of like, hey, these may not be so trustworthy over here, or you may not like them. But
Because Edward still had to answer to somebody.
yeah, Edward had a little bit of a different bow tie there, so that was pretty cool. I know Dave, you were kind of touching on it too, like the gender and social roles there a little bit, and you also touched on marriage and social expectations. So I felt like they kind of gave us a little bit, but it wasn't like this is the highlight of it. We're going to give you the general surroundings in the film, and of course because it's a period piece, right? But I do feel like it kept, and this is just me, and you could say I'm wrong, but I feel like they really did a lot of just keeping focus on the characters, but still giving us, hey, this is the time that we're in.
Yep.
Well, it's so difficult, and it's interesting because a lot of times in film, when you look back at period pieces, they put, well, if the man doesn't have a lot of money and his family doesn't have a lot of money, then the marriage isn't going to work.
Yeah.
But we saw the flip side of it.
Well,
here.
it worked both ways here.
Yeah, we saw the flip side of it here, which is like look, if I'm in, and they also make it difficult because you have all these people coming from
it's family
real
money.
old money, family money, and it's not just a matter of, well, they don't approve of it. Like your parents, well, I'm going to cut you off from all this money, and it's like, so now you have to make the decision. It was just a rough time, and that's not to say that things that are similar-ish don't exist. I mean, there's very much still, I'm sure, a lot of that sort of prejudice that exists with trying to get married, and especially if you're somebody who comes from a very wealthy family, and that's tough. I'll make this very quick. I had an ex who came from a very wealthy family in United States context, and her parents didn't like me. And from what I understand, years later, she dated somebody who came from a family with like crazy money, and they didn't approve of her family's money, which by U.S. normal standards was very, very wealthy, and that was like next level, like old school, like European money kind of here. So it's interesting that there's levels to all that, on both sides of it.
Yeah, and it was Fanny was a treat to dislike in this film, and it's always funny with these films too, like in period pieces and the verbiage they use. It feels like they turn it up a little bit more with characters that you probably shouldn't like. So like Fanny, with some of the words that she was throwing out, it was great because the delivery these actresses and actors give to the verbiage is even better sometimes, and it's like quotable and lives in your head for a while. It was great to see Umber, like when we saw her on the screen the first time, I'm like, God, that looks like a Potter actress. I just don't know.
I can't believe. Maybe it's my brain is
so scarred by her.
Yes, it's like
I don't know who she is.
It's an internal defense mechanism.
Yeah. And it was funny because then when she came back on, I'm like, that's when I said it out loud. I'm like, was she in Potter, or however I said it, and then it obviously clicked with you, like,
yeah, because she looks so familiar, and Then as soon as I said I pictured her with her little umbrage wig on, I'm like,
Well, she was the professor that was like the seer in Potter, I think, wasn't
Emma
it?
Thompson.
Yeah. I think her role was, I forget what it was. That starts with a D. I forget, not her name, but what she taught. Because it wasn't the botany. She was the
Sybil Trelawney.
Divination. Yep, divination. Okay, I knew it started with a D. I just wasn't catching the word. The divination professor. Yeah.
Yes, we had 3 Potter alums. Obviously, well, obviously this was prior to Potter, but you get what I'm saying. So it was pretty cool to see.
Pre-Love Actually.
Yeah. And well, you know, and at first I couldn't stop thinking about Love Actually, but then as the film went on, my Love Actually just kind of went. It was just the first initial.
Yeah, and then this sucks you right in.
Yeah, and then the story and the characters, the actresses did a great job of sucking you in and getting emotionally invested. And you know, with Eleanor too, with the way that she was compared to God, what's Kate's?
Marianne.
Marianne. The Marianne loved so recklessly with her heart, and Eleanor was, you know, kind of, you know, to herself a little bit, held everything in, but in necessary moments, she would try to get it out. But she was also a woman of her word too. I mean, Marianne's her sister, and she was, she gave Lucy her word that she would not speak of it. So holding that in every time, and then every time after that, we saw Eleanor go or be around Lucy. Lucy just kind of, you know, just a slight little
without even knowing
jabs.
too, you know.
Well, it felt like she knew kind of, but she didn't, right? Because she was like, Edward is like thinks of you like as a sister, or however she said that line. So how did I have to go back now and kind of see how Lucy knew to talk to Eleanor? Because maybe there's some other pieces there
She said that Edward had mentioned Eleanor.
Right. And I'm wondering, like, I wish they kind of built a little more context. Like, how?
Maybe they did in the
why?
book. There's maybe some more.
And maybe there is some more in the book, too. But also, to you book fans, how true was this to the book? Because we know Hollywood likes to take its liberties sometimes, right? So I'm just kind of curious, again, with you book folks that read it and enjoyed it, to see how, is it one for one? Hey, 70% of this was pretty close to the book. The other 30 was kind of, you know, them doing their thing.
Yep. Well, I mean, just real quick, and I don't want to have a huge discussion about it because we already did, but I just thought about it now, that with the adaptation with the book and the movie and the issue that you have with the age gap, they never mention ages in here. And I think that's done very purposely because of the actors that they chose. By not telling you an age, they can get away with it, and you can just kind of make assumptions like how old Emma Thompson might be. I think she's probably in her early to mid 20s in this. If I had to guess, by looking at Kate Winslet, I'd probably think late teens, maybe even early 20s. So by them not telling you, I think it softens the blow a little bit because you wouldn't know how old they are unless you went online and looked it up. You would never know their ages, and I think they could get away with that.
I'm watching. No, and I know what you're saying, but I know from roughly how old Kate Winslet is here. I think she was in 19 or 20, you know,
right?
Just from, you know, being a fan. And I know Alan Rickman, I'm like doing the math. I'm like, okay, well, he did Die Hard in 86, and now this is 95, so that's 9 years later. He was in his 40s, you know. So I'm like doing the math, and visually, I don't think they can get away with being younger. I would have guessed with Emma Thompson looking at here, I would have guessed, you know, to me she looks late 20s here, maybe early 30s.
But just to compliment with Diamond,
I understand what you're saying is they don't tell you, so they have a little bit of.
They also just wanted the best actors available,
right?
Exactly,
and that's the other thing.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't like for me, I you know verbalized it pretty hard. Like I don't love the Alan Rickman casting, but he's incredibly talented. So it's that back and forth, like. Who's going to get mad at an Alan Rickman casting? You pretty much have to narrow it down to his looks didn't fit the part, or in this case,
there's still plenty of 50-year-old actors that get cast as a 35-year-old dad.
But just to play off what Diamond Day was saying about maybe in the books, maybe they actually say, well, and they must because
I mean that's where we were getting the information from. I feel like it was pulling from the book.
But just those small details that they can do differently when you have a 2-hour movie versus the book.
Yeah, and again, it. Like you guys said, it was the 90s. So the thought process then was probably a little bit more slightly different, I will say. But again, it was probably get us the best folks that we can.
Get us the best.
Yeah.
Let's keep it because this period piece, we need Emma. Emma would be the great one, or maybe they had 5 different actresses, whatever the case may be, right? So I feel again this, and I'm sure I'm missing a lot of stuff here.
We could talk about this for a real
we're going kind of long, but
very long.
So apologies if we missed anything. But
is there more of these movies?
Well, they did a TV show.
Yeah,
there is a TV show I thought I saw on there.
When you search it on Amazon Prime, there's a bunch.
There was a Pride and Prejudice series.
Yeah,
wasn't there?
There's a BBC one, I think. Yeah,
BBC
so
usually
a lot
does a
of
good job at
Yeah.
TV shows.
A lot of stuff here, but I really did enjoy this film. It's these.
This is getting erased.
And some folks have heard me say I'm not really into period pieces. And
Some
if it
folks
wasn't
have
for,
heard you say.
Yeah, I voiced that quite a bit on here. So for me, this was actually really enjoyable, and it did not feel like 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Not.
Oh
not
God,
at all.
no, it didn't.
No.
I'll get mine done right away. It's a 5 for me. Absolutely loved it. I never would have thought I would love it, but I did. So massive shout out to all of you out there for wanting us to watch this. Thank you so much. Who knows what else is out there? We've been diving into stuff like this. We've been diving into anime, and we've been surprised with everything we've checked out
God, yeah.
that's out of our wheelhouse.
The early 2000s rom-coms for you.
Yeah,
late
absolutely.
90s, a bunch of that stuff.
Never stopped.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. And I got to give it a 5. I'm not sure if I love it. I would have to go back and rewatch like this, Little Women and Pride and Prejudice to really try and get all of it. But for right now, yes. Well, this would still be a 5. I'm just trying to say which one I would like the most.
Yeah, 4.9 for me. Loved the film. Had a few small nitpicks. I know I went in a little bit hard on the review, but in the big picture of things, those are inconsequential to my score here. So I thought this was a great film. Again, to kind of mirror Mason Quinn's sentiment, something that 4 guys our age probably not going to sit down in another context and watch together, but we're really glad we did for the channel.
Absolutely.
Took a 0.1 off because he liked Umbridge in this.
Oh,
he loved Charlotte.
You were torn.
You messed with me with Umbridge there. What are we doing?
Yeah, I really did enjoy this one, but if I have to compare it to Little Women, for my rewatchability, I would probably rewatch Little Women before this one, and that is not saying anything negative about this. It's just my preference to that one, and I don't even remember what score I gave it. So if I scored this one higher, hey, call me an idiot then. But
well,
this one is a 4 or 5 to
could also
me.
be
A 4.5. This one I would still highly recommend to anyone that hasn't seen it, because this was a journey.
It was.
Looking back at like the way we were and the way they were kind of teasing Marianne there for a second, I was like, man, are we really going to lose Marianne?
Yeah.
But Jane did well in Little Women. I can't remember if it was like that in the book or not from the comments, but we did lose a sister in Little Women, if I'm remembering correctly. So I was kind of trying to emotionally prepare, like, fuck, we might be losing Marianne here. Yeah. But then fever broke, all good to go. Definitely highly recommend if you haven't seen it yet.
Thanks to the young Alan Rickman. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed this as much as we did, because as you can see by the scores, we loved it. So for Diamond Dave, Appleton Oak, that's Mason Quinn. I'm, of course, the answer. Good night, pals.